Okay, and we are recording. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to episode 13 of I Am My Own Story. I am Solid Blue Sister, and with me, I just got finished telling her I was gushing over her, outspoken and unapologetic. Her content on TikTok for me, it just popped up in my feed one day, and I was watching it. I was like, damn, and then I had to go into her page and actually start looking at the other, content that she posted. And again, I was like, damn, and one of the first people that came to mind, if you all are familiar with Thomas the Villain. So without further ado, here is outspoken and unapologetic. And I just want to say thank you so much for saying yes to doing this show.
Thank you for inviting me. I am truly humbled by it. I truly am. Thank you so much.
No, I'm humbled that you said yes. But we were talking just now, and I want to ask, my first question, because I do have some questions written down. um, why TikTok?
Nobody's checking for me on Facebook. Nobody shows me love on Facebook or Instagram, no matter how many hashtags. And you gotta, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. You want to get information out there. You want to get content out there. You have something to say. You want a certain audience. You go to TikTok. That's why they're trying to ban it.
But do you think that it was the fact that people were not listening, or the fact that it was the platform that you were on? Because the reason why I say that is because when I'm on Facebook, nobody is paying attention to me. Even when I do my podcast and I stream to Facebook, nobody's on Facebook. Everybody is either looking at YouTube or they're on TikTok. And even with my Insta, it's like I rarely go on there because no one's there. So do you think it's the platform as opposed to you, the person?
I think that it's me, the person, because I've always had a tendency to rub people the wrong way.
Okay, but you're getting the followers and everything on TikTok.
They're strangers. I have strangers who show me more love and support than people I went to school with for 20 and that I've known for 20, 25 years. I have strangers.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. So before we started to record, you said that Thomas the Villain was your inspiration. How did he inspire you?
He says things how he's gonna say it. He's unapologetic, he's strong, he's black, but he's vulnerable. He has made himself vulnerable as a black man, as a middle-aged black man. And that is not something that we see. A black man who's willing to walk in his truth, tell the truth about himself while simultaneously telling the truth about everyone else. He's not afraid to say, hey, listen, I've done this, I've done that, I learned from it. I'm not perfect, but while I'm not being perfect, I'm not going to let you sit over here and not be perfect either. This is wrong and this is wrong. For him to be a heterosexual black man that wears nail polish, earrings, defends the LGBTQIA plus community, defends women. How can you not follow this man? How can you not listen to what he says?
Okay. Well,
you listen to the white man, why not listen to the black man?
Point taken. So don't you see yourself the same way? Because that's how I see you, strong, black woman, who has a soft side and outspoken. Let me just tell you one thing. One thing that you do that I noticed on your very first TikTok, and then I noticed you do it all the time, and I'm pretty sure you know this. You're doing it, but you're making a point. To me, you're making a point when you do it. You start off and you say blah 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 blah, and the glasses are off. And then when you say let's get to it, and you put those glasses on, I'm like, this girl is about to break it down. She is about to break it down point by point by point. The woman has put the glasses on, and she is about to break it down in layman's terms, which is one thing that I love that you do. And whenever I see people on TikTok, I always look at the comments. But even though no matter how much you break stuff down for people, you always have those people who come back and you know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. What I don't, seriously. When you put those glasses on and it's like, okay. So
everybody has a trademark, has a niche. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put my glasses on. Class is going to be in session. In the gay community, in the LGBT community, we call it reading people. So because I am blind as a bat, I need my glasses all the time. When I'm getting ready to read you, I'm putting these glasses on because the library is open. I'm getting ready to take you to school.
Okay. So with the content,
yeah. When these glasses come on, buckle up.
Well, I just thought. I mean, I thought that it was funny, and then I was like, after every video, I'm like, okay, this woman is saying something. Those glasses come on, and she is breaking it down. So, what I wanted to know is, do you have a history, like anybody in your family, were they like, marching with Martin Luther King or, Black Panthers or whatever to make you who you are?
Well, my great grandmother, she was a wet nurse for the Lerner family in Florida. Yes.
Really?
Yes. You see, my great grandmother was taken from West Africa. She had tribal marks on both sides of her face, and she was not brought to the United States, but to the Bahamas. Now, back then, we were still part of British rule. She migrated to Florida, had a daughter. Her daughter would become the wet nurse. I'm sorry, no, my great grandmother, my mother's grandmother, was a wet nurse for the Lerner family. But my great grandfather was one of the first men of color to hold rank in the United States Army. He was a full-blood Native American with jet black hair and gray eyes.
Can I ask how he was treated?
He would later drink himself to death. I do believe that, because I never got a chance to meet any of my ancestors, as I call them now. But he did drink very heavily after he left the service. And I can only imagine how he was treated. My wife, who is terminally ill right now, she was part of the new Black Panther Party with Khalid Abdul Muhammad. She stood guard at his funeral. So it's always been there. My grandmother was a very soft-spoken woman. Honestly, she would not approve of how I am because I am so outspoken and fight the power. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, okay, so it's interesting because when you say that your grandmother, was soft-spoken and she probably would not approve, do you think it's a generational thing that your grandmother may think, why don't if we just stay silent, they'll just leave us alone? Or, I mean, was it that mindset? Like,
Absolutely. You see, my grandmother was a very soft-spoken woman, but she did teach us about the evils of the others, because Florida, come on, they used to feed our people they used to feed our babies to the gators. So
yeah.
She did teach us about it, but she was taught, because my family, I would have been considered uppity. One, I'm light-skinned. Two, my family, because my great-grandfather had money, they owned laundromats and they owned a restaurant, and they were educated people. Even though they didn't go to college, they educated themselves. So they were taught that hey, if you're educated and you work hard and just be quiet, you'll be okay. And I don't know where this fight in me came from, but I'm like, yeah, nah, bro, that's not it. Nope. We don't just have we can't just be. If you do, you. I just don't know. I have the spirit of them in me.
Okay. All right. Because, going back to your grandmother, it's also a survival method.
Yes.
We had to do whatever we could to survive. And leading off of that question, where do you see this country headed?
I'm very afraid for where this country is headed. As a black woman, as a lesbian woman, I am. Fascism is in the making. The fact that they're first of all, they're trying to drag us back to the dark ages. They're trying to all but put us back in chains. And I saw
They
that
are.
with the Jim Crow. I'm like, is this 2023? And
They
the
are.
fact that they passed this law in 2023, the 100-year anniversary of the Rosewood Massacre, y'all passed the Jim Crow,
Mm-hmm.
y'all signed back into law the Jim Crow, really? And of course, I know about Rosewood, not from the movie, but because my roots are in Florida. I'm supposed to go to Florida this summer. I don't even want to go because of Devil DeSantis, because this man he's dangerous. Goddess Mia said it. She said he is going to be a problem. He is Trump with a brain. He is Trump with more follow through. It's dangerous. Lynching. It's being rubbed in our faces at this point. They're doing it blatantly. Cameras are not. It's scary. It's scary where we're headed. I don't. I think. Let's see. We're not gonna be okay, and you mark my words. We're not gonna be okay possibly until either 2028 or 2032, because the next president very well may get 2 terms. So we gotta
You
buckle.
know what? I have to. I have to. I have I have a couple of things to push back on that. Number one, um, I think Biden needs to step down. I'm hoping that he is primaried. However, if it's a choice, like the choice between Biden and Trump, I voted for Biden. Trump between Biden and DeSantis, I'm voting for DeSantis for what you just said. DeSantis, he is dangerous. However, with all the things that he is doing, I just think it's going to blow up in their faces. They're doing too much blatant stuff that I I don't know. I think 2024 may be a surprise. So
You
I
have
don't
to
know. And
understand.
plus,
We always think. What do we always say? This is America. That'll never happen.
no,
But they
I'm
said
not saying that it won't
2020.
happen. I'm just saying that it's a possibility because I was telling a lot of my friends that they kept saying, "Oh, the midterms, the Republicans, they're going to come and they're going to sweep whatever." I said, I don't think so. With Roe versus Wade being passed and all this other stuff, I'm not sure. They going to make some gains, but they're not going to sweep the way that they think that they were, and
That's
they
true.
didn't.
They didn't.
And I think that now it's like so many things are so blatant that even though you have black people now who are pissed off with Biden and what have you,
Oh yeah.
they do
Uh-huh.
see the writing on the wall. And I think that it's like I think it will be even a bigger turnout than what they expect. Um, I don't know. I think that it's a toss up, but I do believe that we need to be ready. So my next question to you, and it's a loaded one: you think we're headed towards a race war?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But like you said, I don't think that it's gonna go how they think it's gonna go. Because I will say this, and one thing that I can say about being on TikTok is that it helped me grow a little bit, because before TikTok, you couldn't tell me that we had white allies. I was like, nah, I don't trust none of them. They all now it's some white allies that I'll trust over black people any day, because they're like, no, this isn't right.
But you sound like a friend of mine, because we had this talk a couple weeks ago, and I said, well, you have to remember that during civil rights, you had a lot of white people who got on that bus going down south, knowing that the bus was going to get bombed, knowing that
Yes,
they could get beaten or killed, and you had a lot of white people who did die during civil rights, standing up for us. So
right.
are all white people bad? No.
No.
Are most of them?
You have to understand
you know,
something. Just like we've
so
been taught to distrust them, they've
mhm.
been taught to be racist all their lives. They've
They
been
have.
taught that. And some of them, some of the parents doing the teaching, they're doing it inadvertently because they don't know anything else. There are people
Mhm.
who have never seen a black face until they went to a HBCU.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
had to come to realize that, wow, just like their racism is indoctrinated, my distrust of them is also indoctrinated, my experiences. But then I had to come to a point with myself and say, okay, these people are part of the 99%, just like I am. Now, you might not like me because of the color of my skin, but I just broke this down to a white man the other day. I said, inflation, is it just affecting you, or is it affecting me as well? When you go to the pump, are you hoping that you get a full tank of gas? Are you paying over $4 for eggs? But then I got deeper with him and I said, what side of your body is your heart on? The left, right? If I prick your finger, you're gonna bleed. When you cry those tears, they are clear, just like mine. You smile, cry, and bleed, all in the same language as me. So what
Mhm.
difference does it make what color of my skin? He had this notion that we're all on, most of us are on welfare. I said, dude, I'm about to be 37 years old. I've never been on welfare. I've always made too much money, even when I didn't
Well,
have money.
and even for that, it's like the majority of people on welfare are actually white.
Yes,
The
37%.
majority, the majority of people who are, getting abortions are white. You know, the vasectomy rate amongst white men since Roe versus Wade has gone up, to 100%. You have a lot of white men who are getting vasectomy. So what does that tell you? And here, how many the people who are crossing the border to go to get abortions in states like mine are white. So,
Same.
all this, and the first thing that they want to do is only thing they can throw out is, well, black on black crime and 2020, the riots of 2020. I said, okay, so you want to talk about black on black crime 2020? Okay. Well, let's talk about all the years that you all have lynched us, bombed our homes, bombed our churches, took our land, never paid anything back, never paid to fix anything. And now y'all, only thing y'all can talk about is 2020. Seriously?
Okay, we
And
can
you all
talk
want to talk
about
about
2020, but that whole the Black Lives Matter that they were tearing up cities, that's already been debunked. They've already proven that it was white people in mass tearing up the cities, making it look like
tearing
it
up
was
the
black
cities.
people. As far as
Right,
black on
right.
black crime goes, whenever they start trying to sell that point, first of all, I tell them, I'm like, we are not going to act like y'all don't have channels devoted to y'all trying to kill each other for insurance money. So stop.
You're
Okay.
right.
Black
You're
on
right.
black
You're right.
crime is a scapegoat for when we cry out about racial injustice. It is already proven. If you and I live in a city such as I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey. It is predominantly black. So what are you going to have? Black on black crime. You go somewhere in Arkansas where it's predominantly white, whether it's property crime or violent crime, it's still going to be white on white
Right
crime.
on right
What's the
crime.
difference?
Yeah.
You go to Chinatown in New York, they don't have, now see, their crime rate is low because they don't report to Americans. that they are very close knit and quiet. But you go to a predominantly Mexican town in California, what are you going to have? Mexican on Mexican
You
crime.
are.
So I
You
tell them
are.
all the time, get out of here. And not
You're
to
right.
mention, the FBI studies already show that white people commit just as much crime as we do. We just have a higher rate of conviction, arrest, but we also have a higher rate of exoneration for crimes we didn't commit. By the way, I also have a criminal justice degree. That's why I'm able to. I studied that part. I studied.
So, can you ever see America breaking this cycle? I mean, until God just, I mean, I've always said God needs to just blow everything up, just get rid of us all, start over, put the animals at the top of the food chain, and put humans at the bottom because we've just messed everything up. So, do you
I
think
think that it
that
can, but not in our lifetime. Not you. I may see this 30 years from now. I'll be 67 years old. I
30
think
30 years from now, you don't think it'd be more like 300 years from now?
no, because if you pay attention to these young people, in their teens and 20s, they're sick of this. They're not. The
You point
2020
point.
election brought it out. You had young people being thrown out of their homes because they refused to vote for Trump. That's where we are now. And granted, yes, they are sensitive. They are. I'm not, and I hope I don't get canceled. Yes, y'all sensitive. Y'all marshmallow kids, okay? We went through some stuff. We ran from truancy. Y'all don't go through nothing. But they are tired of this. And they're saying, no, let's look at what this country has done, not just to black people, to indigenous people, to women.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't get white women. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, you do realize that y'all was with us, right? They was trying to keep y'all at home barefoot and pregnant. Y'all couldn't get a credit card either. So
Yeah, but white women have been indoctrinated since the slave times.
oh, absolutely.
Have you read the book They Were Her
Mm-hmm.
Property?
Mm-hmm.
And that book was like, you're reading it, and now I know why they said that the lady of the house was Miss Ann. You know, you had Miss Ann, then you had Becky. Now we have Karen, and now I think we're going into Brooks. you know, it's you
I
know,
read that
it's
book.
white women have been indoctrinated to think that they are entitled because more and more you're seeing these videos where these white women are actually slapping people, and it's like, seriously,
Well,
you
see,
know?
they've been indoctrinated that black women are the welfare queens, and the big black man, he's gonna rape you, he's gonna assault you, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. When I'm like, most of our men ain't thinking about y'all, and welfare queens, girl, bye. Most of us, we go to work, we are educated, but it
And
is that indoctrination.
that
And it
welfare queen thing started with Reagan, because I remember when he said it. I remember when Reagan, stood up and had a speech and was talking about welfare queens, and everybody just ran with that term. And all of a sudden, it was like all these black women were welfare queens. I'm like, excuse me, I'm educated. I grew up in a two-parent household. I
right,
went on vacation every week, so, or not every week,
right.
but every summer, whatever. But I'm just
Frustrating, I know.
so it is. So with everything that you're doing on TikTok, where do you want to be? Because for me, all the TikToks that I put out and everything, my podcast, everything, I want to go mainstream, and I do believe that I will. I'll just have to keep plugging away, plugging away, plugging away. Where do you want to go? Because I want my voice to be heard
I
everywhere,
want my
not
voice to
just
be
on
heard.
TikTok.
No, I want my voice to be heard, but more importantly, like I told that white man the other day, we are all in this together. I said the worst thing this government did was make poor white people think that they were somehow better than black people as a whole.
And that's why they consistently vote against their own interests.
Exactly. Because here's my thing. Y'all are praising Trump. Oh, yeah, he's a businessman. He showed y'all what a businessman he was, didn't he? Because when he was in here, everybody was paying back the IRS. You had people who had never owed the IRS paying back. So what did he do for y'all? He gave money to HBCUs. Every president gives money to HBCUs as part of the federal Pell Grant so that people can go to school so that they can keep getting money. So let's go again. He gave money during COVID. He was buying votes that he didn't get. Next.
Well, no, but see, this is one that someone that I know always says. Black people did better under Trump. They had more jobs under Trump. How can you not want to vote for him? Why would you vote for Biden?
Okay. There are still jobs out there right now. Are there not? See, nobody wants to take accountability. And part of the accountability is when they told everybody to go back to work after the pandemic, everybody wanted to still sit at home.
Mm-hmm. That's because everybody knew that they were getting screwed over at work, and this was their chance to say
amen. But see, also, we cannot dismiss the fact that Trump stayed taking credit for the success of Barack Obama.
Yes,
you
he did.
inherited Barack Obama's economy. You didn't build that. Mm-hmm. You came in after the Christmas tree was up and opened the presents, bro. You know what I'm saying? You didn't build that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't stand Trump, but one thing I will say is that the other countries wasn't trying to play in our faces. That I'll give him, because nobody wanted to. It was like, we don't want to go to war with this fool, because he'll probably just start dropping bombs at will. Yeah, just leave him alone. But with Biden, I'm like, anytime now, because they think he's weak. They think Biden is weak. So I will give Trump that. He kept everybody, off our backs for 4 years.
Well, I don't know. I see this country, and you did something. Hold on, let me go and one thing real quick. No, because you did. Okay. This is the one that you did the other day. They better be happy Auntie Angela didn't turn into Bernadine. Okay.
Yes.
I know who Bernadine is. A lot of people just like, white folks, some of them say that by Felicia, they still don't know where that comes from.
They don't even know who Felicia is and where she came from.
They don't know. But why did you say that?
Because as a Black woman that's been passed up for promotion 5 times in 9 years, I know exactly how Mrs. Bassett felt in that moment, to have to sit there and watch someone that did not work as hard as you and does not deserve it. And you have to watch it. And not only do you have to sit there and watch it, there's not a damn thing you can do about it, but show how you feel. She was human. She was hurt. She was angry. She was disappointed. And it turned into a trend. Everybody was tweeting the next morning about how she was a sore loser. But no one said anything about Kelly Condon, who uttered the words, excuse my French, what the fuck, when they heard Jamie Lee Curtis's name. Now, had Angela Bassett got up and said, fuck this shit, and stormed out, they still would have been unhappy. She was not allowed to feel whatever she wanted to feel in that moment. Now, had she turned into Bernadine and got angry, then it would have been all kinds of memes. Then they would have, then the the racist palm colored people would have been, yeah, that's why we need to stop inviting them. They would have brought up the Will Smith shit again. We're just not allowed to be human. Angry, hurt, disappointed, nothing. She just, yay, she was supposed to do that. Nah, I felt all of that. And I've been watching, come on. We call her Auntie Angela. I've been watching Angela Bassett for years. I felt all of that. She's one of my favorite actresses.
Okay, now to play both sides here, let me ask this. So, Michelle Yeoh won. Okay, I have not watched the Academy Awards in years. I used to work in the industry. I when I left, I left. Not deal with it. So, to play both sides,
fair.
You have Latinos, you have Asians, you have Native Americans who don't win Academy Awards. When Rita Moreno won for West Side Story back in the 60s, you had people who were upset that she won. Why is it that Black people are always expected to win, but other minorities can't win?
Oh, I don't know about that. Not at all. Because, first of all, I didn't even know what movie Jamie Lee Curtis was in. But they said that the Asian woman who acted side by side with her did a great job. And if that had been the case and she had won, I'd have been like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got another minority that won. My thing is this, and I'm not afraid to say this. We should win a lot more than they do because they win all the damn time.
Okay, when you say they, you're talking about white people.
I'm talking about white people. They always win. They're always the
default. What I'm saying though is,
oh no, other minorities, hey, they should win too.
Okay,
they should win too.
Okay,
absolutely.
Okay.
Because again, white people are at the top of the food chain, no matter what they think, no matter how they feel. They are the default. That's why the police come when a white woman calls and starts crying. And that's why a Black woman has to think twice before she calls the cops because it can go wrong. I just got blocked in the other night. When you go to my page, you'll see the video that I posted this morning. I was very upset. I went to a bank to make a deposit. And they boxed me in. They thought I was robbing a bank at 2:30 in the morning. Had I been a white woman, would they ask me where I worked, what I did for work? Never asked for my license, registration, insurance card, nothing. So yeah, Black women and all Black, Hispanic, BIPOC across the country, across the board. If we deserve it, we deserve it. My father taught me, ask for what you want, demand what you deserve. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis deserved that award. She didn't.
Okay.
Did Angela Bassett deserve it? Yes, she did. But as I understand it, I think the young lady's name is Kelly Shue, who also lost. From what I heard, she gave a phenomenal performance. Why didn't she win? Right. Because every so often, they got to put us back in our place. All of us. Let them know we're still number one. And then they said about her, they called her a petulant child. An Australian reporter called Angela Bassett a petulant child. It was the disrespect for me.
Well, it's always the disrespect. What they said about Michelle Obama, that she was in heels.
Oh man.
But yet you have Melania Trump plastered all over the internet, naked.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously? So it's always about the disrespect. And do you ever see, I'm about to talk about Candace Owens.
Candace Owens?
Okay, so do you think that she will ever when I see her, I see them disrespecting her. But is she just selectively ignoring it so they'll continue throwing her bones? Or do you think that she truly believes what she says? That when she sees the Angela Bassett's and all these other people being disrespected blatantly, do you think that the Candace Owens and the Tim Scotts out there and whomever
Whitlocks.
else,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say, and the Kanye's, because I'm not a Kanye fan,
Me
do
neither.
you think that they, that, I mean, do you all really believe this, or are you all just doing it to get more followers, more likes? I mean, why are they doing it?
I call it the overseer syndrome. I have deemed
Okay.
it the overseer syndrome. You remember, well, as we've read in slave times, we had even in slavery there was a hierarchy of the division. They put
It
certain
was.
black people up here. You oversee them, you whip them, you belittle them. You're not one of us, but we're gonna make you think that you're not one of them. And I think that that's what's going on. Like you said, they want to keep getting thrown bones. If you can't beat them, join them.
But that's where it's dangerous. It's dangerous for them
Oh,
because
absolutely.
when everything starts to jump off and the shit hits the fan and they want to come run back and want us to open up our doors to them so they can hide or whatever, be safe, they're going to find that the doors are locked. They are going
Yes,
to find
absolutely.
that, you know what? Sorry, but why should I let you in? Why should I trust you in my home?
They're very
So
dangerous. They're very dangerous and they impede progress because every time you have one of those shucking and jiving coons, all only thing they do is make it okay for the racist white people to push their rhetoric. I'm like, do y'all understand that you will
and
never
and
get
and
right?
white people love to hear black people talk about each other. They love it.
Exactly. Exactly.
They love it.
Exactly. See, I don't like Chris Rock. I don't. And I didn't watch his Netflix special either. But he said one thing that I agreed with. My mother taught me that we do not fight in front of white people. That was the only thing he said that I agree with, that I even have respect for, because that part is right. We're not supposed to fight in front of white people. But we have Candace Owens, we have Justin or Jason Whitlock, we have who's that heifer from Clueless? Stacey Dash. And then anybody
Well,
seen
that's
her?
now that's a name I haven't heard in a couple of years.
Yeah,
Stacey
she was
Dash. I haven't heard that.
she
Yeah,
was
she
rubbing
was.
Trump's nuts for the longest
She
time. Biggest
was. She
Republican
was.
wrote a book. We ain't seen her. Anybody seen Herschel Walker since he blew the midterms? They threw him right back into the field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And
that's why
that's
I'm
why
like,
and but see, and this is why I'm saying it's like at what point are they going to wake up and realize that maybe I shouldn't be over here. Maybe I should be over there. And I would really like to know, like Herschel Walker's, I know his son spoke out and he didn't like what his father was doing. And
oh
I
yeah.
just wonder, you know, are your parents okay with this? Are your parents okay? I mean, no, I'm totally serious because if I were to do what Candace Owens did or Herschel Walker, whatever, my parents would have been telling me, would have been pulling me over, going, "What the hell is wrong with you? We did not raise you like this."
And don't get me wrong,
So I
Candace
mean,
Owens is an educated woman. I would never see. That's one thing. I will
but
never take
Candace
anything.
Owens wanted to sue before she got on this trip that she's on. I remember when Candace Owens,
For
probably about 6 years
reparations.
ago, yes, yes,
But then
yes.
gonna turn
So
around and say the rest of us don't deserve it.
right,
And then they
so
dragged her.
yes,
Them white people,
yes.
them white people dragged
So
her.
that's why I say, are we ever going to fix this? Is this
I
ever
really,
going to be fixed? I mean, even with our young people coming up, are we ever going to fix this? Because it's so ingrained. I mean, and it's so bedded rather. Um,
Yes.
and as Viola
Davis.
Davis said, you know, racism is built into the DNA of this country. So are we
It
ever
is.
going to get over it? Are we ever going to get past?
I don't. I want to say yes because I'm a hopeful person. Um, just the kind of person I am. I always try to look at the bright side, but I don't think that we'll see it. Not in this lifetime. I think that in the
See, now
maybe
it's
like you
interesting
said,
that you
300.
say, okay,
I
see,
want
it's
to say
interesting
30
now
years. I
that,
want to say 30 years. But the more you break it down and I sit here and analyze it, I'm like, okay, maybe 100 years from now, I won't see it. You won't see it.
okay, but
Maybe.
you have to look at it like this. When slavery ended, you had millions of black people who were supposed to be free.
Right.
Reconstruction happened, and you saw black men being voted into office,
Yeah.
and you saw white people going, "Oh shit, we're gonna have all these black people voting. They're gonna take over." So then they made laws. The started coming up with the black codes and everything, whatever. You can't do this. You can't do that. Can't do this. You had where they had those. You can't loiter. So if a black man didn't have a job, he was arrested. And that's pretty much how the penal system started. And black people were put in jail.
Hmm.
During World War One, when some black men went overseas, a few of them, they made enough money where their wives didn't have to work. So come World War II, you had black women who did not have to work in these southern towns. Their husbands were sending money home, but Miss Ann didn't have somebody clean her toilet, didn't have somebody to wipe her butt. So they made a law that
Hmm.
black women had to work as domestics. That was a law in a lot of southern places. So you look at and you see this happening over and over and over and over and over. And that's why I say 30 years from now,
That's me
40
being
years from
hope.
now, 100
That's
years
me being
from now.
generous.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you again 2024. You said you don't see a change maybe in 2028, 2032. Now I'm saying, being hopeful, that all this stuff is going to backfire on them. Do you possibly see that it could, or do you still stick to 2028, 2032, and beyond?
I think that I really think I have to say that I'm afraid for 2024. Um, I think that we may be okay by 2028, maybe, but right
Are you
now
saying you're
I am.
afraid for 20? Are you saying you're afraid for 2024 because of who may get into office? Is
Yes,
that's the main thing that you're saying? Okay,
yes, because
okay,
violence against minorities went up during the Trump era. He make America great again. No, he made it okay to be racist again, to be racist out
yeah,
loud again.
yeah, yeah.
And
He
I'm
did.
worried that, okay, Trump made it okay to be racist out loud again. DeSantis is making it okay to be homophobic and transphobic out loud again. And there's going to be a push between all people. Like you said, is there going to be a race war? There's going to be a culture war.
Well, see, and that's why I'm saying I think that it's going to backfire
Backfire.
because, to me, and I've said this on some of the TikToks, I've said that DeSantis is another Hitler. He's turning
Yes.
America into Nazi Germany. And, when people sit back and really look at it, I have a really good friend of mine who is against abortion. I am too.
Okay.
Um, I don't believe in them, but I believe in your right to choose. I believe that when they turned Roe versus Wade, when they repealed it, whatever, and I told my friend, I said, you have to be very careful about not wanting, to condemn something, because then Roe versus Wade is going to happen. I guarantee you, all these other laws are going to start happening. Sure enough, that's what's happening.
It's a domino effect.
There are a lot of right. There are a lot of things that I don't believe in, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, what you do is your business. As long as you don't hurt me, as long as you don't hurt my family, as long as you don't hurt my dogs. I have 3.
I have 2. They're fighting right now.
So it's like, you can do whatever you want. And that's why I think all the stuff that DeSantis is doing, it's going to backfire. I really, really do. Because
I hope that it does. I hope that it does. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not afraid to be wrong, and I'm not afraid to say, let me think about that. Yeah, that could happen. And I honestly never thought, hey, this could backfire, because I'm looking at, it's hard to think that it's going to backfire when you have so many people who support him and back it, and they're just okay with what this man is doing. It's scary. It's really scary. Not just as a Black woman, but I'm just looking at everyone. Again, his Don't Say Gay bill, the anti-trans bill, that doesn't just affect Black trans people. That affects white trans people, Hispanic trans people, everyone. And that's why in one of my videos, I said, be careful when you're cheering about somebody else's rights being condemned, because then you better pay attention to yours. You better pay attention to yours, because y'all, okay, we don't want gay people to get married. During the Loving case, Black and white people weren't allowed to get married. We know the Lovings. We know that story. They terrorized those people. So that's my question for the Republicans who love to pass all of these bills. What you gonna do when they tell you, Black man, Clarence, we know him. What you gonna do when they tell you that the white woman that you're married to is now illegal? Now is that when it's gonna be enough? Oh wait, we're gonna have to stop here because now my rights are being impeded. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I didn't think to myself, it could backfire. It's hard to think that way when there are so many people that are backing it. But
well, when I saw how the midterms, when I saw how the midterms went and how pissed off a lot of Republicans were, I was laughing. I was outwardly laughing. I was outwardly laughing to some people who I knew who are diehard, Republican, white, whatever, and they just, we just gonna blow y'all away, and y'all this and this. And I'm like, okay, we'll wait and see.
We'll see.
But the one I will say during the midterms, the one that hurt was Marcus Flowers losing to Marjorie Taylor Greene. That one hurt. That
Clan mom, hurt because I really wish somebody would get rid of her. I'm sick of her.
That one hurt. That one
intellectual, but that woman is hooked on phonics and stuck on stupid. I'm sick of her. I am sick of Marjorie Taylor Greene. MTG, Jimmy Kimmel. He called her Clan mom, and she tried to.
And she's another one who, it's like, enjoy your 15 minutes or, whatever, because I just think all this is going to backfire. I just really, really do. And I think that if Biden is not primary and he wins again, I don't think it's necessarily going to be because people support him or Black people support him. It's going to be because we see the danger that's on the other side. Right. We see the dangers on the other side. Now, me personally, I would love for my Governor Newsom. I would love for him. Gavin Newsom. I would love for him to run. But he said that Gavin Newsom, California.
Oh, California. Okay. Right. I'm in
we
Pennsylvania.
so thankfully we have a governor who he passed the, which is I think is ridiculous. He passed the Crown Act.
Yeah.
Uh, and he's passed. He gave Bruce Beach back to the family. Uh, so a lot of he's a lot of conservatives don't like him just because of the stuff that he's doing. But he said he's not going to run. But my favorite to run, who I think he could pull it off, Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes. Yes. And we would have to come out in droves for
But
it.
I think that we would. I think that we would. But I think that we would come out in droves anyway because as long as the message keeps getting out that DeSantis
Yes.
is dangerous, and that's the main thing that people need to understand. So, but
He's dangerous for
I don't
everyone.
know.
He's dangerous for democracy. And
He,
that's what I try to tell these, because nobody, think about when you were a kid, when your parents yelled and screamed and cussed at you, you didn't listen to them. But when they sat down and talked to you calmly and in a loving way, you heard them a little bit more. And
mm-hmm,
that's what I
mm-hmm.
try to say to these strict Christian conservatives. I'm like, listen to me. This, if what you guys say is true, then don't have the audacity to say that you love democracy, but then spew hypocrisy. Because
Mm-hmm.
if this is land of the free, home of the brave, so on and so forth, you believe everything that your forefathers said. That means that we all have the right to live here, be happy here, exist here. Why can't two people who are in love get married? They got the right to be miserable like everybody else. Leave them people alone. Okay? As long as nobody's molesting children, leave these people alone. A black man wants to marry a white woman. Hey, y'all in love? Hey, y'all getting married for the insurance money? That's not my business. That's y'all's house. If we are going to live for democracy, then be a democracy.
Okay, I want to take you down this road with the
Oh
black
Lord.
man and the white woman. All right. Again, you can marry whomever you want. You can do whatever you want, but why do you think a lot of, not necessarily celebrities, but athletes, black athletes, go for white women? Do you think it's a mental thing? Like they were always supposed to be the ones that we couldn't have. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a cross over,
Think about what Malcolm X said. The black man want to get his hand on the white man prize, the white woman.
But why do you see it seems like more athletes are marrying white women as opposed to your neighbor next door or the guy you went to school with, whatever? Why does it seem like it's more predominant with athletes?
I really couldn't tell you. I've wondered that myself because I'm wondering, like, okay. I mean, I've heard some people say, "Oh, black women are gold diggers," and I'm like, that's not true either. I really don't know why they are turning away from. The only thing I've heard from other black men, regular black men, they say that black women, we are combative, we don't submit. Um, I don't know. They just see that. I guess they see that white woman won't embarrass them as much as a black woman will. Or it could be, if we just gonna get down to it, that white woman gonna let you do whatever the hell you want to do as long as you bring it home the check. And that black woman is not going for it. That black woman is going to tell you, you better keep it to yourself, because if I find out, there's going to be hell to pay, and you're going to pay. That white
Mm-hmm.
woman, she gonna let him do whatever he want. You look at Tiger and Elon. You're not gonna tell me that woman didn't know that he was clapping cheeks with 18 other women. The problem came when it hit her door. I think any woman will tell you this. What you do in them streets is what you do in them streets, but don't let it come home, because then we got a problem. One of them women called him while he was at home. You ain't going to tell me that woman didn't know that he was screwing 18 other women. It came home. That black woman, she like, you better keep it to yourself. So yeah, the white woman is going to let the black man do whatever he wants to do. Them athletes, they listen, my brother was Busta Rhymes' accountant at one time. Things go on the road. You were in the industry. Things
I definitely. Hell yeah. I mean, I used to drop scripts off at people's houses, and I'm like, okay, here, I'm out of here.
What's this? That ain't my business.
See ya.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
It's
See ya.
good in there.
See ya.
Right.
See ya.
So I think it's more so that white women are a little bit more lenient. They, long as he bringing that money home, yeah, he can do what he want to do.
Okay. So my final question to you is, where do you see yourself in terms of who you are right now at this very moment? The person on TikTok, woman with a university education. Where do you see yourselves a year from now, 2 years from now? I mean,
well, right now I am trying to conceive. I'm trying to have my first child, and I don't expect to change. I've always been outspoken and unapologetic in my stance, but always willing to grow and to learn. And that's all I want to do, is keep growing and keep learning. There are certain things I didn't know before I got on TikTok. Like, I didn't know that. Let me follow this person. I didn't know how to do certain things in sign language, which I'm also a part-time EMT. So I might come across a deaf patient and be able to help them because I follow someone on TikTok who's deaf. I'm a railroad mechanic full-time. I fix trains, but I help people. And that's all I want to do, is continue to help people, continue to not just build up my community, but marginalized communities, poor people. I just gave $1 to a white guy on the street. He was an alcoholic. He said, "Do you have any change?" I gave him $1. He said, "It's going to a good cause." I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to buy a drink. Do you want the money back?" I said, "No. Whatever's going on with you, that's your story." I said, "Just make sure you eat something today." I want to continue to be loving, understanding, learning. There's always room to grow. And I'm not going to be as soft-spoken as my grandmother, but that woman was my heart. And if I can be 50% of the woman that she is, I will close my eyes and leave this earth happy, because she was, no matter what color you were, she was good, she was loving, she was loyal, she was respectful, she learned, she grew, she embraced everyone. I'm not trying to change the world, but if I can change one person's mind about how we are supposed to be with each other as human beings, then I've done something. One person is all it takes. One person can change the world, but we can change the world one by one by one. We won't get there tomorrow, but we can get there.
Okay. Well, everybody, that's it. So
that's it, y'all.
And again, I just want to say, again, thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for asking.
I appreciate it so much. And you will be on an episode of Friendly Differences, and I'm trying to get you and Thomas on at the same time, because I know that show's gonna be a bomb.
God!
Yeah.
You get me on with Thomas. Thomas, I'll donate $100 to whatever cause you want. I'll donate $200 to whatever cause you want. Homelessness, whales, Parkinson's, cancer, AIDS. I don't care. I'll split up the $200. You get Nemo with him.
No, we don't. We're not going to take any money. We're just going to ask you, would you like to be on the show? So yeah. But
Absolutely.
anyway, again, thank you so much, and everyone. Until next time, I am Solid Blue Sister. This is I am my own story with outspoken and unapologetic. Until
Peace,
next time,
peace and love, people.
peace.